So I want to start off by letting you know that this morning I had a call of FaceTime with my 3-year-old daughter, and I explained to her that I was going to be on stage today in front of a whole bunch of smart people. I had 8 minutes to tell a story, and my slides melted down on the conversion of software and hardware that I went through today, so I had no slides. And she said simply, this is what you should do. You should get on stage and tell everybody, you should say, I love everybody. Full stop, done. She even broke it down by syllable and made me repeat it back to her. I love everybody. That's it. So thank you all for being here today. Smart little baby Buddha. I decided, since I'm untethered from slides, to use that as a jumping off point for this talk, because on the way over here, I'm thinking about this beautiful, young, pure, joyous mind of my 3-year-old. And I have to tell you, I am worried about her future. Really worried about how that mind will experience this world. And I think there's good reason to worry. I think that in many ways we have already failed her. Our education and healthcare systems have not really built the support that a mind needs to develop and maintain itself in a healthy way. And I feel we're at a crisis level about that, and it worries me. How we think, how we pay attention, how we perceive the world, how we regulate our emotions, make decisions, feel empathy and compassion, regulate our stress, is tragically lacking right now. And I'm not just talking about the over half billion people around the world that are suffering debilitating effects of impaired cognition, what we call a mental health crisis. I'd say it extends far beyond that. I'd say you could see our limitations in analytical thinking and long-term decision-making and empathic concern just by reading the news every day. And I think it is worrying. Does anyone else share this worry about the status of our minds? And I just haven't heard a lot of talk about that here yet, and I think it is so core to our future of how we survive on this planet. Now, our current paradigm on the healthcare side is that there is a pill, a magic brain pill out there that we will find that's just going to fix it all. Autism, depression, Alzheimer's disease is gone. And many of my very smart colleagues at UCSF are working on that, and I want them to find that pill. But I have come to believe that we may not find that pill, that the route that we've taken that has been so effective in infectious disease and heart disease, and you could see decreased morbidity and mortality across all those conditions, is just not true for the human mind, where we've seen the reverse case, especially in our children, increasing anxiety and depression and suicide in our seniors in terms of cognitive decline. We're just globally suffering in all of these domains, and we need to break that paradigm. We need to think about new medicine, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I may be able to protect my daughter in the future from not taking a pill, but one thing I will not avoid is her interaction with digital devices. As a matter of fact, that battle has already been lost. And so how do we think about using these tools that we all are holding right now that are just on the steep curve always of innovation, increased accessibility and affordability, to do more than entertain and connect us? Not that that's not important, but I feel that they often do diminish us in many ways. I wrote an entire book on that topic that I'm not going to talk about, but how do we use our technology to enhance what makes us human? Now, there's a lot here, and I only have half my time left, but I do want to break down what I've been doing over the last 15 years at UCSF and in some companies that I work with. And the idea is that technology can be used to deliver very powerful, targeted, and personalized experiences. And experiences, in many ways, the oldest type of medicine for our mind, from meditation and wellness, meditation and mindfulness. Now, we can use these experiences and deliver them with our technologies and then record what their impact is and really see if we can make a difference. Now, there's a lot here, but what I've really focused on is what I call the closed loop experience. And a closed loop experience is where the environment that you're being presented with, the challenges, the rewards, the stimuli, are all being updated and personalized to you in real time based upon your own data. And that is creating this closed loop system. And it's the nature of those interactions that are activating brain networks selectively. That is something that we have never accomplished with any drug or stimulation device. Now, Eddie's work is different, but it's on a small scale. It's more limited to the number of people. But on a mass scale, we do not activate brain networks selectively in any other way than through experiences. So can we leverage and harness these experiences to change our brain in a way that has a dramatic impact on our cognition? And so 15 years ago, a very short story, in 2008, I had the idea to do this through a video game. because video games are fun, and fun is a real big part of being human, how we engage deeply in the moment and sustainably over time. And in this game, I built in the systems of interactivity, weaving together challenges and rewards based on my research on attention to lead to improvements in those abilities outside of the game. So we built this game with friends from LucasArts and then did 5 years of research. We published it in 2013. It was the cover of Nature, which is like sort of as good as it gets for us scientists, showing that older adults who played this game for 1 month improved not just on the game, but their attention and their memory abilities outside of the game. We recorded neural activity before and after to show that the mechanism of action was a strengthening of connections between the prefrontal cortex, the most evolved part of their brain, and the other posterior parts. And so that really became a blueprint for us to then move forward. And what has happened over the intervening now 12 years is that we've taken that game, started a company, did a lot of development, increasing the experiential aspects of it, and now, after almost 25 research studies, have taken that through the FDA as a Class 2 medical device, and now, 12 years later, have approval of the first and still only video game approved by the FDA as a treatment for a clinical condition. In this case, thank you. Video game players out there. In this case, it's a treatment for children with ADHD. It is prescribable right alongside Adderall. We now have a second approval based on another study for adolescents with ADHD, and based on another study, adults, as an over-the-counter treatment. So there is a lot to talk about there. It is still a challenging business to move a video game as a prescription treatment, not the least of which is challenges in reimbursement, which has hurt many other players in this field. Lots to talk about. But I want to, and if you go on Neuroscape, my center at UCSF, you could read about dozens of papers with other games, including VR games that we've created, and showed benefits in different aspects of cognition in different clinical populations and healthy populations. So I am convinced that this does work now, but scaling it is certainly a challenge. So in my closing couple seconds, I want to tell you about where we're going moving forward, because I know that a lot of this meeting is to think about opportunity, and there's an opportunity for many people here. So I'd say advances in biometric sensors, signal processing, machine learning, both on the pattern classification and on the generative AI side, and sensory immersive environments unlocks the potential of closed-loop experiences. So we're doing experiments in our group right now, multimodal biosensing, 180 electrodes, recording not just the brain, but signals across the body, while you engage with this beautiful, immersive nature music experience. And the goal is to actually be able to interpret state, arousal, awareness, aspects of attention and valence in real time to guide this experience. So we have multimodal recordings, multi-sensory stimulation, see, hear, smell, and feel environments. Then you take this and you bring on AI, both on the interpretive side, the machine learning side, as well as the generative side. And what you have is a system where your multimodal physiological system become prompts for an environment that you're presented with that can challenge, reward you, and create the type of system that can maintain and enhance your cognition. So there's a lot there that is a big part of the future. And a study that we have coming up, I'll close with, is to do exactly what I just described to you on older adults, and where we start is still a question, that have low sense of well-being, that do the experiment I described, whether they are on a placebo, a dose of psilocybin, or a dose of MDMA. And the idea is that we could use the plasticity enhancing and sort of perspective and perceptive shifting aspects of psychedelics and turn psychedelics into a closed loop treatment by using their data to guide the environment and the context that they're being presented with. So I'll conclude with that. Thanks for your attention, and we'll move on to our next speaker. Thank you.